All right, so for this video, I wanted to talk about the subject of forgiveness, right? This is like an idea that is promoted a lot in not only in New Age circles but in mainstream religious circles. We're told that we should give evil people the green card, right? That we should just forgive and forget, that we should just move on. um, and I think that this might be a psyop, and I think the title of this video is going to be is forgiveness a reptilian psyop? Because it does seem to be that evil people are the ones who benefit from forgiveness of evils, giving people the green card. Anytime someone steals from you, oh, just forget about it, just forgive, right? You just forgive, don't hold grudges, right? It does seem to be that it benefits evil people the most. On this prison planet, it benefits the loosh farmers. It benefits the archons, the demons, to be someone who is a doormat, to be someone who doesn't hold a grudge, to be someone who you can push around and you just let stuff go, right? If you're that kind of a person, you become a very easy target. And you know what I think of is I think of all the humiliation ritual that is school, for example. I think of all the times that all the teachers got mad at me for no reason. I think of all the times that I got bullied and that I got my stuff stolen, and even just the stuff with my parents. It's just like it's like you remember like all the trauma and all the different stuff. And well, that's the thing, is like I don't have a tendency to remember these things because I don't, first of all, because it's hard to look at the memories, but it's also another thing where it's like, because of the fact that it's hard to look at the memories, I tend to look to the future, and I try not to look at my past too much. um but it's almost like you remember people as they were. You remember all the bad things that they did to you or whatever, and like now it's like, oh, okay, like it's like it's like now they're old and nice now. So it's like, oh, and the thing about the world, the way the world is designed, the way this prison planet is designed, is that after all the bad stuff happens to you, it's it's almost like the world moves on and there's no justice, there's no punishment, there's no equalization, there's no balance. There's no payment made out to you for all the things that have happened. um and it's almost like people move on like nothing happened, like it didn't mean anything. And I think that is like a messed up aspect, is that after all the bad stuff happens to you, after all the all the wrongdoings have been done towards you, it's like the world does sort of it's almost like it's almost like the world forgets, or like it forces you to move on. And this is like another uh this is a very subtle way that this prison planet is designed. Is I believe that this idea of forgiving, this idea of, oh, giving people the green pass to continue their evil patterns of behavior, this is a program, this is a reptilian psyop. This is a psyop from the reptilians too, so that you keep giving them the green card, so that you keep allowing, or consenting, if you will, if you want to put it in like a sort of spiritual contract or a spiritual consent kind of a way. It's almost like you're consenting to them continuing their pattern of behavior if you don't hold a grudge, if you don't um you know if you forgive them and you just move on, right? You just be the bigger person. That's what, oh my gosh, that drives me up a wall, man. Be the bigger person, right? And I think that this is linked with this is something that I personally like, is I really like anti-heroes. I really like revenge stories. I really like even like a John. Oh man, this is a really good movie that I watched recently, Sicario. um but you also have like stuff like The Punisher, stuff like John Wick or whatever. But like, there's this really good movie, Sicario, that I watch, and it's literally a guy taking revenge against the cartel boss for killing his family. And I think that there's a reason why that we're subconsciously attracted towards those kinds of characters. You're sort of subconsciously attracted towards like the Punisher, John Wick kind of characters, so that we have something within us that knows for a fact that like the correct response to evil and wrongdoing is not negotiation. The correct response to evil and wrongdoing is not forgiveness, but revenge, but punishment, evening the scales, right? Balancing the scales, right? That is the true sort of, and this is linked with another lie on this prison planet, which is like this idea of karma. Oh, karma will get them, they say, right? Karma will come back to them, that they will get what they deserve somewhere down the line. Somewhere down the line, nobody escapes the law of karma, but evil people do, because karma is fake and gay, right? And I think that this whole forgiveness program, it makes me think, should I keep a record of all the wrongdoing? Should I actually remember the wrongdoings? Because I think that it's really important to realize, I think that because of the fact that we're sort of programmed to forgive and forget all the like all the wrongdoings, all the trauma, and all the trauma stuff, right? Sometimes it's hard to look back at all the bad stuff that people have done to us, right? And it's hard to look back at it, but I think that a huge aspect of this is that we need to look at all the evil that has been done to us, because we need to know the kind of evil that we're dealing with. We need to know the kind of, and it's very easy just to forgive and forget, to move on, and to not deal with it's almost like it leaves a mark on your soul anytime someone is evil towards you, or anytime you have like a narcissistic friend that is turns out to be an energy vampire. I remember I had a friend in elementary school who was he must have been some sort of energy vampire, man, because he had like all the classic narcissistic manipulation tactics, and he had like anger problems and everything else. And I remember dealing with that from at a very early age, right? And it just the more that I think about this stuff, it makes me think that we need to be that if we hold grudges, if we hold a record of all the wrongdoings, that we're actually becoming more familiar with the type of evil that is working against us on this planet. And I think that one of the things that this evil is doing is that it is programming us to be okay with it. It is manufacturing consent to its evils. It's manufacturing consent to its evil patterns by telling us that we should just forgive and forget, that by telling us that oh, you should just be the bigger person and walk away, right? Because excuse me, because that does seem to be something that only benefits evil people. It only benefits the thief, the liar, the manipulator, the people who visit the private islands, the people who do. And this is why they do the predictive programming rituals. This is why they do the predictive predictive programming, is they're showing it to you in order to manufacture consent subconsciously. So I think that this whole idea of forgive and forget, and oh, karma will get them, right? I think that is a demonic reptilian psyop. It is really a way to sort of tap into that sort of consent principle of like oh, well, they consented to doing it, so it's not evil. It's not evil anymore, which it's still evil, right? But they're still, what they're doing is they program good people to allow evil patterns through this this sort of Trojan horse of forgiveness, right? Because you just need to forgive and forget. You need to forget all the bad things that happened to you. You need to let go, right? That is what they'll say, right? But the people who are saying this, who does it? And this is a question that you should always ask when it comes to matters of this prison planet: is who does it benefit? Who does it benefit to have someone let go, to just let go, to forgive evil patterns? It benefits the evil people. It benefits the energy vampires. It benefits the parasites that are running amok on this planet, and possibly many other planets, many other systems. I think that there might be multiple prison planets or multiple loosh farms. I have no idea, but if we're talking strictly about this prison planet, I think that is one of the big programs, and one of the big things about like the way this reality works is that they tell you that you have to just forgive and forget, and to just move on, because they don't want you to create consequences for evil. They want a consequence-free world. They want a world that for evil people is consequence-free. That they don't have to face consequences, because the good people are too, they're too busy forgiving and being the bigger person, instead of fighting back and destroying the evil once and for all. And yet again, like the whole subconscious attraction that we all have toward revenge style movies, or towards characters, anti-hero characters, right? It's almost like if you're a good person, it's almost like you have, a subconscious sort of knowing that, tapping into that sort of dark side is important. That tapping into that sort of, revenge, holding grudges is important because you're creating consequences for the evil people and for the evil beings that exist in reality, right? And yet again, this is a tactic for evil people to eliminate the consequences of their actions, right? So don't fall for this whole like, oh, you need to forgive and let go, and just you just need to and meditate, and then all your problems will go away. But realizing that realizing that all the stuff that's been done to you is wrong, and becoming familiar with the nature of this evil is really important if you want to fight it, right? And I think that this is a thing that I've realized, is that I need to remember all the stuff that's happened to me, because um you know because yet again, I am a person where it's like I don't like looking at the past. I like moving forward to the future, because I don't have a lot of good memories of like my childhood, for instance. Like I don't really have a lot of good memories that like stick out. I think that a lot of it was just me being at school, not having friends, having teachers, and teachers and bullies, and like the way my parents behaved back then. Right. So that does stick out in my memory, and I think that we need to sift through all the bad stuff that's happened to us, and I think maybe I'll start like a grudge notebook or something, in order to just keep track of all the evils, and to see what is the way that this evil works, right? Because yet again, if the system tells you one thing, you should do the opposite. If the system tells you to forgive and forget, then I think that maybe we should hold a grudge and keep a record. But yeah, that's the video.